Hi, this is the second lot of videos looking at the investigation planning sheet, and what we're looking at in this one is how to structure your ideas. Now, structuring your ideas for any kind of essay is a really important step to follow through with because it gives your essay a balance and you can work out whether you're on task or off task depending on your structure. It also gives us teachers a really good way of looking at how you plan your work before you start applying and communicating your findings. Now, in the last video we were looking at shark finning and all there is and the different processes that you go through planning your investigation and coming up with your focus questions. Now's the time to start planning it. Now I'm going to, in this instance, use a very standard kind of 5 paragraph essay format, which is looking at an introduction, 3 paragraphs, and then a conclusion. Now, for me, I personally don't like writing my introduction immediately because I often find that I work better if I know what I'm going to say before I introduce the topic. So I'm just going to put in intro here, and I'm going to leave a few spaces so that I can fill that in at a later point in time. Now, going back up here, I'm going to look at my focus questions, and the first focus question that I came up with is, what is shark finning and why does it occur? In my first paragraph, I'm going to put in a plan saying para 1, and I'm going to rewrite my question. Okay, now remember, this is just a plan. You do not need to use full sentence answers. It has to be something for you to recognize what you're going to write about. And so that's the question. Now from here, I'm going to probably find it much easier if I go ahead and use a bullet point. And so I just bring that in a bit so that it's underlined. So really in this section, I'm looking for a definition. I'm going to put in another point that I need to make in my first paragraph, which is what the uses for shark fin. And the last thing that I need to do, which kind of follows on from the definition of what shark finning is, but I think I need to explain in my first paragraph what is the actual issue that we're looking at here. And there is my spelling, which I should fix up there. Note how I am fixing up my spelling as I go. Look, if you are using a computer, we're always on about spelling. You might as well, if you see a little red line like that, try and fix it up immediately. Okay, so in the first paragraph that I'm going to write in my fake essay, I'm going to talk about a definition, what are the uses for shark fin, and what are the actual issues, or what is the actual issue. So we've got definition, what are the uses, and what is the actual issue. Now in this plan that I've just created, I now know that when I start to do my research, when I write these are the things I need to research for when I start writing. I can't write my first paragraph until I've got those points down. So it's really important, as I said, this planning stage is really important for you guys to use in terms of actually creating a really decent bit of work for you. So the next thing you do is looking at paragraph 2, and again filling out. Now in this section I'm going to want to look at the consequences, and if I scroll up, what are my consequences environmentally is the second focus question that I came up with. Now in my second paragraph, in the consequences section, I need to come up with some points that I'm going to raise in terms of consequences. So again, with the formatting, forward that through, and I'm going to look at marine ecosystems, and I'm also going to be looking at human populations. And in part of the consequences, I'm also going to be talking about the food web and flow-on effects of of causing the destruction of a species. So in my paragraph, or my second paragraph on consequences, I'm going to look at the marine ecosystems. So more specifically, a shark is on top of the food chain. It's caused the development of other fish to blah 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 blah. I don't need to go into it. But as you can see here, and this is what I want you to notice, the process is quite simple. If there is a paragraph that I'm going to be writing about, I need to come up with 3 things that I'm going to need to research to come up with a decent answer. So when it comes to my research stage, I'm going to be going, okay, paragraph 2, well, I need to look at marine ecosystems. So let's do some keyword searches based on that. So that is how you go through the different paragraphs. You do paragraph 3, and then whatever that might be. After you've finished all the paragraphs that you need to do, you're going to put in a conclusion. The planning section of this really helps you for your body. It would be difficult to plan your conclusion until you do your research, and as I said to you before, I don't like looking at my intro until I've written my body. So again, I'm going to hold off on that. Now, if you are an incredibly intelligent person who can come up with a really good introduction without looking at the paragraph, without looking at the body, by all means, put your paragraph in there, or put your notes for your introduction in there. I'm just not that talented, so in this instance I won't. In the next video, we are going to be looking at the whole conducting your research stage. So thank you very much.